tools that can help you write better in English without actually having to be better in English. Hello and welcome to Emma's ESL English. Today we are at my grandma's house, so there's some roses behind me and the sun is shining and you might be able to hear some birds in the background, hopefully. So we're going to attempt to record here today. I forgot my tripod, the camera's on the other side. It's a little bit wild. I have a few episodes I want to try and get through today, so fingers crossed everything works out okay. There is quite a lot of traffic coming from my uncle's farm, so we might hear some rumbling as we go. We'll see how we get on. I hope this is nice and a little bit different for you. Let's get started. Today, I want to talk about tools that can help you write better in English without actually having to be better in English. Of course, I want you to still study English. I want you to keep going with your practicing, but sometimes you just need to write an email and you don't want to be panicking, is my English good enough? So what I've done is put together a list of different tools that you can find online. They're all free and you can pick which ones work for you. So some of them are very, very similar with what they do. Others are totally different and you can pick and choose which one is going to work best for you. So I would suggest going and looking at them if you have to do a lot of writing in English. This could be just you're writing emails for work, or this could be that you have other things that you need to write. Maybe you do presentations, write papers, something like that. Maybe you're a journalist, or perhaps you just want to improve your writing. So I do have one just want to practice improving your writing. But most of these are for immediate improvement of your writing. So you write something and these tools will help you make it better. That's the plan. First of all, let me go through them. And then what I want to do is break down how you could use each one of them. First one is just simple. Word or Google Docs, right? If you're typing in a normal word processing kind of a package like Word or Google Docs, then they will have dictionaries and things like that in there. Make sure you're using the right dictionary. Are you talking to a American audience, British audience, Australian audience? There's different dictionaries in there for that, so your spelling is going to be accurate. Number 2, online dictionaries and thesauruses. So a dictionary is telling you the meaning of a word, and a thesaurus is giving you lots of other words that have a similar meaning. So if you find yourself using the same word again and again, then I would suggest trying to use a thesaurus. The thing with native English speakers is that we really don't like to repeat the same word many times. So you'll notice if you're reading, for example, a newspaper article, as you go through the article, you will find that the vocabulary for the same thing changes. I remember reading an Australian newspaper article with a student once about a storm. And as we went through the article, the vocabulary got more and more weird and obscure to try and describe this storm that was coming in, because we really don't like to repeat the same word. It's not to say that you can't. If the word works, use it. That's totally fine. But if you would like to try and branch out with your vocabulary, use a thesaurus. It's a really quick, easy way for you to find lots of very similar vocabulary. I would suggest double checking the word is similar enough to use, but most of the time, you know, English has a lot of vocabulary, so you've got choices. Okay, number 3, Google Translate. Google Translate, you can copy and paste what you want to write. So the nice thing about that is you can write it in your own language, your mother tongue first, and then Google Translate can help you translate it. There are other translation things out there, and I think now, because of the AI and things, don't assume that Google's going to be your best choice for everything, because realistically it may not be anymore. There are other things that are specifically for language translation rather than Google, which is doing everything. Consider looking around at different translation technology to see which is the right fit for you, which is kind of using the words that you're happy to use. Number 4, Grammarly. So Grammarly is a really, really helpful one that you can kind of attach to your page, and it can double check all of your grammar for you. So for anyone who's struggling with grammar or who's worried about their grammar, Grammarly is a really nice one just to double check that your grammar is making sense, and it will give you some suggestions for new things that you can do too. It's a pretty easy to use tool. Number 5, there's a thing called Visuwords. Remember, all of these are going to be just listed in the description. Visuwords demonstrates how words connect to each other. So it's a little bit like a dictionary, but it's like showing you sometimes the history of the word, or for example, if you might have words that all come from some Greek word or something like that, it's showing you all of those connections. So it's kind of showing you families of words, things like that. So I think if you're still learning a lot of vocabulary, Visuwords might be a helpful tool to help you figure out how these words are connected to each other and maybe build sort of families of words that you can understand a little better. It's a tool. For some people it's going to be not so useful, but for others it might be really helpful to just see how the words fit together. Number 6, it's called Write and Improve. This is actually from Cambridge, and it is a free tool especially for language learners. So the nice thing about this compared to everything else is that it is specifically for you as a language learner. This one is really, really good if you want to improve your writing. You can still use this when we're talking about you want to improve your writing, you've got an email to write, something like that. You can use this for that. I don't think it's the best tool for that though. However, I do think it is the best tool for helping you improve your writing step by step. The tool has a lot of tasks, so if you wanted to, every day you could go on there and just do one writing task. As you type your piece, it will tell you how you can improve your writing. So it's almost like having a writing teacher sitting there next to you. Maybe you're a journalist, maybe you're an author, and you just want to really improve your writing specifically, then I think this Write and Improve from Cambridge is a really, really good option. Number 7 is called Hemingway, and it's an app. Hemingway, some of you will know, was a very famous American writer, and there is now an app with his name. Now, the Hemingway app is very similar to Grammarly, to Write and Improve. And the Hemingway app, what you can do, similar to Google Translate really, you can copy and paste whatever you've written into the application and it will tell you what to improve. This is what I mean by pick the one that works best for you, because I think this one, Google Translate and the Ginger, they're pretty similar. Google Translate's not going to tell you how to improve things. I would say that Hemingway is going to be the next step on from Write and Improve, because it's looking at really like high level how to improve your writing. So if you are trying to sound very professional or like a native speaker author, something like that, then Hemingway is trying to do that. So Hemingway is more aimed at native speakers who want to improve their writing. So I would say if you're more advanced, then Hemingway might be a better fit. Whereas if you're anything down from more advanced, then the Write and Improve is probably going to be the best fit for you. Number 8 is Ginger. And Ginger is similar to Grammarly and Hemingway, but it's sort of a cross between Grammarly and Hemingway. So it's going to do a little bit more correction or improvement than Grammarly, a little bit less than Hemingway. Hemingway, as I said, is aiming for that really high level, whereas Ginger's not, just aiming for nice sounding things. But it's working on the grammar, and there's butterflies flying around. I don't know if you can see them, they're very pretty. Ginger is another option. So that's what I mean by like pick the ones that are going to be the right fit for you. 9, Deepl. So Deepl is another translation tool. So you can just use Deepl for translation instead of Google, which is totally fine. And a lot of people say it's better than Google because it is actually a language app. That's the whole point of it. But there is also a thing called Deepl Write, which is specifically about improving your writing. So again, it's a copy and paste thing. It's going to help you write better English. Now, this time we're really looking at a real proper AI, deep learning AI type thing. So it is going to improve your English, but it's also maybe going to sound like everybody else's. Kind of a problem. Could be perfectly normal. So again, this is about what are you using it for? How much time do you have? How much effort do you want to make? All this kind of thing. Pick the right tool for the right situation. Number 10 is a journal. Get a journal. Do some writing. Definitely journaling is a really useful one. I actually came across a student who was Mongolian. We kind of bonded over trying to learn Chinese. He was much better than I was. And he said that one of the things he did was to write a journal every day and talk about like literally just what he did today in his journal. And that was really, really helpful for him with his Chinese. So yeah, that's another good one. Just get a journal and literally just writing your diary every day. What did you do? And I think that can be really, really helpful. If you wanted to, you could write in your journal and then take it to write and improve and see what you could do better. Lots of ways to do this. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is talk you through how you could use these depending on the time that you have and what you're trying to do. So the first one, if you want to write an email, so you are short on time, you're at work, you want to get stuff done, you could write it in your own language first, convert it using Google or Deepl, and then run it through Ginger, Hemingway, or the Write and Improve to improve it so that it sounds more relaxed or smarter or whatever you want to aim for. And then you could look up words on a dictionary or a thesaurus or in the Visuwords to see if there are any words that you could increase. Now again, this is depending on the purpose, right? If you want to make it sound more professional, more scholarly, more focused to a particular kind of profession, then you could find specific words and make them more tailored to that profession. So you could improve your email depending on which one you wanted to use for what reason you were writing. Okay, let's say you have loads of time. You could first of all try and write the thing yourself. So in your journal, try and write whatever it is yourself, your email. Then take the time to work on the grammar and vocabulary by yourself. First, just write it out quickly and then sit down and think, okay, how can I make this better? What can I do to improve this? Then you could run it through Grammarly just to basically check the grammar. Then you could run it through Hemingway or Write and Improve to suggestions of how you can improve the overall thing. And if it's a regular email, what I would suggest if you send emails like this all the time is to create a template. So you're not having to do this every time. You can do it once, do a really good job at it once, and then you just have a copy and paste and change the name, change the dates, things like that. And finally, for general improvement, so you're just trying to improve your English writing skills, you could start with using Write and Improve, and you could use one of their tasks that they're giving you as a way to just have a go, just write something. Choose your level. You can choose your level in Write and Improve and pick your task and go for it. Write your best, write your first draft, see how you get on. Think about, is there any more complicated words or rarely used words that you could use in exchange for the ones that you've done? Don't think about this the first draft. The first draft, just get it down on the paper, no judgment, no concern, just try and get your perspective, your idea across. Then go back and look at, okay, is my grammar okay? Great. Is there an exchange of words I can do here to make this sound whatever we're aiming for, more professional, more scholarly, more newsy, whatever you're aiming for. Consider if there are more complicated grammar constructions you can use. In general, I say don't, because in general, native speakers are very lazy with our grammar, and we will pick the easiest grammar we can find. But if you are writing for a journal, a article, some kind of scholarly paper, some kind of business paper, then it's much more likely that you're going to find higher level grammar. So consider, for your circumstances, maybe you want to change up the grammar. Grammarly can help you with that, so can the Write and Improve and the Hemingway. Then you could consider, have you got your main point across? Is this working as you wanted it to work? And is there anything else that you want to improve? And then you can run one of those programs, Hemingway, Write and Improve. Again, you can literally just, once you've completed it, you can run it again, and it will give you suggestions to improve it again. Do you agree with those suggestions? Don't just jump and think that's what the computer told me to do, so that's what I should do. But actually, do you agree with it? Think about it consciously. Does that sound better? Does that sound worse? Because the computer's just giving you ideas. You don't have to take what it says. It's up to you. It's your piece of writing. You have to decide. So do you agree with the changes that it suggested? And then again, you can run through the dictionary to try and find, is there any other words you want to replace things with, thesaurus, things like that. And then if you want to, you could run it through Hemingway for higher level improvements. So what I would suggest with these different tools, try them all, have a go, see if you prefer any over the other, and remember to bookmark the ones that you prefer so that you can find them again, right, on your browser so that you can find them again. If you want to use them for work emails, double check with your tech team if you're allowed, what you're allowed to use for work, because actually a lot of people now, it's okay for them to use AI, but if you are, high level confidentiality things, double check with IT what you're allowed to run your stuff through. Remember that it is totally okay to use tools for your English to make things easier, to support yourself. It's not cheating. If you need to use English and these tools are helpful, then they are a good thing to use. Do use them. It saves time. It's not cheating. You're still using your English, and it will help you to feel confident while you're still practicing. And that's really important. You still need to be able to get your work done, to do your stuff. So if this helps you feel a little bit more confident while using English, go for it. Do it. Good idea. All right. I hope that's helpful, and I will see you next time. Bye.